Hey everybody, welcome back. Oh, I didn't play the thing. We got this one too.
Play it again. Play it again. Play it again.
Play it again.
There you go. I know, and I'll fix it. I'll make one with all three of us as well. Because
And Baby Yoda. Don't forget to have Baby Yoda.
Yeah, Baby Yoda.
And
That
Baby
gets
Yoda.
the ratings up.
Sure it does. Absolutely. Well, welcome to Star Trek Lower Decks rewatch. I'm John Suntress from the Word Balloon Podcast. We got Franco from the Oh Yeah Podcast. And Mitch, I know you're from Terrificon, but I also want to acknowledge your podcast. What's it called again? Sorry.
That would be the Power Cosmic Podcast with Jerry Ordway.
Indeed. All right, now take the mask off because we can't understand you. It was cute, but
That would be the
That's fine.
Baby Yoda
now
podcast.
you're a Texas Longhorn. And here I'm going to single you out for a second because first of all right, show us your T-shirt.
Oh, it's Star Wars. If he met Van Gogh.
Well, that's funny. The green screen is making it all funky in a cool
Yeah,
way.
we have a high pressure area over Ohio, and we're looking to have some rain tomorrow in the lower 48. But other than that, we're looking for a good Labor Day weekend and get the golf clubs out there.
I like that you're on the Doritos ship, but I got to say, when it was earlier, mostly I saw the first officer and the big screen behind you. Yeah. And
Yeah,
at
they
first
are.
I'm like, are you like at a McDonald's or something? It looked like it was like a fast food menu.
I'll have a Happy Meal and
I'm telling you, man.
3 large fries, a Filet-O fish. And do you still make those little chocolate chip cookies?
Only,
Yeah.
yeah,
Welcome to the USS Ronald.
Exactly.
I love how that one helmsman is excited to be there because she's the only one on that whole fucking ship.
Well, her and Tendy. Tendy's always excited too. And so's whatever his name is.
There wasn't a lot of screaming this week on this episode, so
No, that's
No.
true. That's true. All right. Well, we can get here. Wayne says Wayne
Yeah, see?
Mariner wasn't as annoying on this episode.
Oh, yeah. See, Wayne and I are going to have problems today.
Yeah, I still found her annoying enough, and it was I didn't. The plot was fine. I like
for Three's Company.
I like the big
Exactly.
well,
Thank
that's
you.
fine. Hold on, I'll finish, and then by all means, I thought the ship's problem was very Star Trekky, and I liked that. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm at the point where I'm the old man that's been pelted by a couple snowballs, and this is like the fifth one in my face, so I'm just gonna accept it. And like, all right, fine. Yeah, I mean, it's another mediocre, effort. I think. Please, gentlemen, your thoughts.
Why am I staring at Mitch? That's my first
I don't
thought.
know.
That's right.
I like myself, but
I was doing it for the ship, and I was doing it for the T-shirt.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
No,
Put me back there.
Again, my major problem with this show is it's a cross between trying to be a comedy and trying to be a straight Star Trek show, and it's not hitting on either point for me. This was just silly beyond silly. Cupid's errant arrow,
Mhm.
and her trying to trying to prove that the other one's like an alien or a parasite, and
Parasite, yeah.
yeah, and then it turns out that there was a parasite at the end because she can't be wrong.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid,
Right.
that marinara sauce can't be wrong.
Right.
And I was just
I
like,
thought the parasite was going to be that captain who wanted the other two to transfer so badly on his ship. Why was he in Starfleet? He had a nervous breakdown. He started crying at the end that it was too hard for him to do anymore. And he wanted to go on a quiet ship. I'm like, John, you know how they call Star Trek: The Next Generation TNG?
Yes.
And the original show is called what? TOS?
TOS is the original.
You know what this show's called? POS. Yeah, because honestly, John, I told you I woke up this morning and I realized it was Thursday and I had to watch it and I physically went, my wife says, what's the matter? I go, I have to watch that shitty Star Trek cartoon. And she goes, you got to watch a cartoon and you're crying about it? I go, it's
25 more, Mitch.
Dude, I waited till 1:30 to watch it. I was having lunch. I watched it on the iPad. I started falling asleep during a 20-minute show. And I said, either I'm really tired, I'm really old, or this is so boring. I saw it on Three's Company 40 years ago.
The answer is D, all of the above.
I was on streaming last night. I was telling you guys before we started with Rob Burnett. And we talked about, Lower Decks. We can't help it. We got to talk about Star Trek every time we're together. But it was funny. I was telling him about my obsession with Hot Wheels cars lately. And he told me about an awesome, and I bring this up because seriously, people should check it out. There's this great website that they do Hot Wheels races, like kind of time trials. They're not racing against each other, but it's this great elaborate Hot Wheels.
Oh, I've heard of those, yeah.
That looks like a model railroad kind of, thing where it's the whole thing or whatever.
Would it be like this Hot Wheels car? Ooh.
What ratio is that? Is that
this is a little tiny guy.
64? Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, it's something cool. You register it.
Okay.
I don't know if we can get that. You register it, and then you could race it virtually, and you get prizes and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. All right, now let me finish my story.
It has nothing to do with Star Trek.
But thanks for playing. No, my point is that he's like, you got to watch that, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I'll probably stay up and watch Lower Decks too. Well, no, I watched this 8-minute Hot Wheels thing, and I'm like, I'll watch Lower Decks when I wake up, and it was fine. I only watched it about an hour ago, so my thoughts are fresh. But yeah, man, I get what you guys are saying. I totally agree. Like I said, I gave up in terms of, all right, it is what it is. Judge it on its own merits. I agree. The whole thing of the officer wanting to transfer was just stupid. It wasn't funny. It was just stupid. What are you gonna do? I don't know. But like I said, I did like the ship story with the alien and the aliens and the moons. I thought that was. I thought honestly, and I even thought there were some funny lines in there too. What can I say? I mean, it was kind of Futurama.
One of my questions
at the end owning one of the moons.
Yeah, one of my questions was when they first went over to the other ship. I forget the name of the other ship, not the Doritos.
It was called Vancouver.
That's right,
the Vancouver.
Very good.
So when they went over to that, the captain's being boastful, and our captain, I forget her name.
She's Mariner as well.
Yeah.
That's her last name.
Okay. No, she's not. It's got a different name because the whole crew doesn't know that. Oh, that's
right. It's a whole. Yeah. You're right. I can't remember the name either. Go on.
So then when that other captain was being so boastful,
yes,
I said to myself out loud because I was in the room by myself. I said, "God, are all the captains in Star Trek dicks?
Yeah, they're assholes. Yeah.
Are they all jerks? Like, what is it with this?"
Well, we remember in the Next Generation, Captain, Ronnie Cox's character that takes over.
Jellicoe.
Jellicoe.
Boy, I'm hitting all,
he was
on all cylinders today.
Yeah, exactly. You were close enough. That was good. I'd give you half for that if this were a game show. But I mean, he was kind of a dick. I don't know.
Yeah, but and all of them.
The Admiral. I know. No, you're right. No, I understand, and I don't disagree with you. Again, a lot of attitude, not that many jokes. And I mean, I'm gonna make sure when we get together that I don't take it downtown. Hey, am I right? All right. Hey.
Yeah.
It's like,
that was funny.
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really good.
You gotta make sure you name check Next Generation a couple times.
Yeah. They talked about data and lore, and they're like, "Wow, those guys get in trouble every week." And I was like, "That's kind of funny."
I actually liked the flashback scene. I thought I was okay with that. I thought that was okay, honestly. Whatever. But no, and maybe she's a Suliban. and
they have the
Captain
salt
Picard
vampire
Day.
up there. You saw the picture of the salt
well,
thing.
and also she said it could be a salt vampire.
A salt succubus, she called it.
Salt succubus. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I am used to the tropes of this show. Member berries. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's fine. And again, that negates Nagin's argument last week that it's not meant for us. It's like, sure it is, because it's right.
It's not meant for anybody who ever watched the TV show. They put this on in Guantanamo Bay, and the friggin' people wouldn't watch it.
I guess. Honestly, Mitch, I keep saying it's just mediocre. Which, again, compared to what we got in Picard and Discovery, a C average means you're leading the class. Congratulations. Or a C minus. Or a C plus.
I shouldn't be angry to watch a Star Trek cartoon. I think I wrote to you, if you told me as a kid that one day I'd be hesitant to watch any Star Trek, I wouldn't believe you. I'm like, no, I love Star Trek. I'll watch Star Trek anything. I watched those cartoons 40, 50 years ago. It's great. Now I sit there and go, oh my God, Star Trek's on.
Is this the first franchise
I can't stand
you are like that? Because honestly, Doctor Who, and I really was rooting for Jodie Whittaker.
No, I can't watch it. I stopped watching it.
Either.
I stopped.
And that's fine. Whatever. I mean, 40 years, okay. What are you gonna do? Or 50 years? I don't know. I mean, 50 years of the show, I guess 40.
I told you, I perk up when the show starts to get serious, and maybe that's because my brain is not designed for funny Star Trek. It's designed for Star Trek, not.
I think it would be designed. I think you'd be open to funny Star Trek if it was funny. Yeah. It's just a lot of the stuff just falls flat here.
Yeah. It's kind of like Peanuts. It did seem like Peanuts. The main lower deck cast are more fleshed out extent, and all the senior officers are just played as generic. There was a thing when she was trying to distract Balmer from his girlfriend, and she kept running around behind the scenes. Mariner did.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like a Charlie Brown episode, and I couldn't remember which one it was. There was something where, like, Charlie Brown was in love with the redheaded girl, and then Lucy was behind him, or Peppermint Patty was like, but what about that? What about that? And I was like, wow, I've seen this before. Oh my God, it's a Charlie Brown cartoon in space now.
Of all the Charlie Browns, Cerritos.
And why does Mariner's jealous of him? Why? Because she secretly loves him or something?
No,
I
think it's.
Why? What
I
is
think
that
that's
about?
what they're setting up because they're friends.
Do you really think that?
I think that's got to be where they're leading.
I guess.
Eventually.
I suppose. I honestly think no. I just think again, she's
selfish.
She's so superior. She just is so superior, and she feels bad for Brad. I'm gonna call him Brad from now on because that's easier than.
That's his name, Bradmore.
Bradford.
Yeah.
Bradson.
Bradward. Yes.
Haha, that's a funny thing.
Yeah, I wrote that down because I'm like, oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Bradford.
And
making fun of his name.
Is Tucker Merida or something?
No, she said at one point they threw a joke out, Mariner 8, and I go, isn't that like a space probe that went to Venus or something? I'm like,
no, they gave her a name. No, there's a name. She gave her full name. At one moment she gave her full name.
She did give her full name, but the moment you're talking about, Mitch, was when she was trying to get an emergency
a teleport.
Yeah, and she calls on the comm and she goes, code Mariner 8, and they're like, who is this? Why are you in this? I mean, that's just like what crew member would know that? Like, I mean, yeah, but it was just like so.
It's easy. It's low hanging fruit.
Exactly, it is.
It is. We lost Mitch, but he'll be back.
Well, he hates this show, so he probably just bounced
got
out.
Disgusted. So it was so funny. I'm like, all right, so what time are we going to do today? And he's like, I swear, man, I'm hating watching this thing. Every day I dread it. I'm like, great. What time do you want to talk? You didn't answer my question. Save it for the pod. So, oh, by the way, for viewers, I'm creating an audio stream, a separate podcast RSS feed for all the Star Trek stuff. And I might go back to Picard because you and I started doing Picard. Why not?
Sure.
So and when I think about it, I'm like, all right, we got 10 of Picard, we'll have 10 of Lower Decks and 13 of Discovery. I'm like, damn, that's a show.
Yeah, and we're gonna do like original. We're gonna do original series stuff eventually, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk to post Labor Day at some point. It'll be me, Franco, Mike Cronenberg from Noir City, and tomorrow's massive Star Trek fan, and Tom King, massive Star Trek fan. In fact, Tom King's the one who's like, hey, can we do that? Can we do a rewatch? I'm like, absolutely, Tom. Here's Mitch. Back on the. Can you make that fries an extra large, please?
Yeah, we're gonna give you the Lower Decks Happy Meal. It comes with a script. So
Dante wants more Trek movie reviews. I don't know.
No.
Maybe I don't know. I mean, honestly, like I really think the original movie is just weird and funny in a lot of cool ways.
This show's not even Star Trek V funny. I'd rather watch Uhura do it. I would like to see Uhura do a fan dance rather than watch this again.
That's funny, and I agree with you. That is one of the weirdest.
I know this ship like the back of my hand.
I'm 70. Let me do a fan dance. Good idea. Great idea.
I hope nothing falls out.
Jesus, I understand exactly. Man,
I like the fan dance. I dream about it still.
I like when they fought with paint.
She looks
well,
like a goalie, an NHL goalie.
She got some.
When they zoom in on her legs, it's like.
See, I was gonna say she had thighs like a linebacker in that.
It ain't 1966 anywhere.
She knows Julie Newmar.
Nichelle Nichols was lovely, and
yes, she was.
Good Lord,
yes.
I've passed my lovely years, at post 18. So I'm pleased, but all that said, it's like, I don't know if I want to see the old lady doing a sexy dance.
Yeah, I feel bad for you guys because I'm still in my sexy years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I never said I wasn't, but thanks for saying that. But what about that?
That I like,
what about that funny thing? How they wanted to all fight over that new? What was that thing?
TR-88s?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
And at the end, as fine Starfleet officers, they stole them. Both of them stole them because
it's like
that's
swiping hotel towels. I didn't.
That it's so funny.
Yeah, gift of the Magi. Hey, that's great. We both did that. That's why we're friends. All right. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
But every scene, like picking apart every scene, like when I'm here, I'm gonna make love to my lover, my lover, my love. She's my lover. Okay, all right, yeah, we got it.
And then they had to censor his little pee-pee by putting that little black bar on it.
Wait, they censored that? I thought that's the way his penis was. I didn't know.
It could be.
It's just naturally pixelated. That's his. It's part of the effect of having the parasite on him. Pixelate your wiener.
The green screen.
I thought the parasite was funny.
It's making my eyes look like Gary Mitchell. Anyway, sorry, I was just looking at my eyes.
That's fantastic.
It was better than that show. So.
Yes. Yeah. What else? What else can you say?
Hey, John, is Paramount so? What's the word I'm looking for? Pig-headed that they won't acknowledge that this show sucks?
No, quite the contrary. I can look up the article.
They're going ahead with season 2.
No, they have a new executive since Sherry Redstone has taken over her father's company now, and she hired a woman that used to be a big executive at Fox and was the woman that greenlit Deadpool and Logan.
Okay.
And the article is quoting this either Redstone or the executive herself, where it's addressing the fact that we know there's something wrong with Star Trek. We know there's a bigger audience than what we're getting from our efforts so far. Let's get somebody that can get to the bottom of this. They hired this executive. I honestly believe that Mike McMahon, even though he's only doing Lower Decks, is showing enough Star Trek that, honestly, I don't know what the numbers are, but I think this show is probably hitting more with older fans than our own frustrations with it. And that I would trust Mike McMahon with a live-action Star Trek show. Because he clearly, when you look at the broad strokes, certainly of what's happening for the ship itself, this guy understands Star Trek.
Yeah,
I would agree with that totally. I think he really does hit the beats. I just don't. This show needs a better writing room. I think.
Yeah,
a better comedic writing room.
Yes. By the way, real fast with Wayne. No, it went right to the
it went right to the show. There was no cold opening. Nope. I thought that was weird too. I went back and replayed it to see if I missed something.
I just thought that was an interesting. And sadly, it's like, hey, we're out of jokes. Well, it's only episode 5. Congratulations.
That's we put all the good jokes at the end of the episode.
Well, the cold opens that the Rockford Files used to do with the phone messages.
Yeah.
I've seen Stephen Cannell, the creator, talk about that literally was like the hardest thing to write after a while. And we were asking secretaries for ideas and stuff at the end. It was, after several seasons.
Maybe they should ask secretaries to write Lower Decks.
Exactly. Here's an idea. Have Brad and Mariner fight because Brad shouldn't be dating a nice girl. And also that it was weird that they chose a different officer
Mm-hmm.
for her to be into, form a relationship. That would have been perfect, I think, for the first officer. And frankly, I think it would have been funnier if it was the first officer.
I have a question too. During Marinara Sauce, during her flashback to the other ship, she had on the Enterprise crew,
the Deep Space Nine outfits.
Deep Space Nine outfits.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I caught that.
Well, it's a flashback. That makes sense.
Well, they wore those uniforms in Generations. They had a mix of the costumes.
No, not in Generations. I know in not Nemesis, in First Contact. First Contact, they had those.
Was it First? I could have sworn the other one.
No, Generations was literally shot while they were making the last season. So
wait,
they were
what?
Still in if they were different, they're only slightly different. The Generations, Next Generation.
Oh, what's that, Franco?
Well, I was going to say, don't the uniforms show a progression of a timeline? So don't those all come after the series? And isn't this during the series? I'm confused about that part. So I'm legitimately asking.
The Lower Decks has said 5 years after.
Ooh,
you choked up about it. It's not that upsetting, John. It's okay. It's not real. It's just a TV show.
No, well, you'll notice that the Lower Decks uniforms are somewhere between Next Generation and what we saw Picard and Raffi wearing in their flashback. So it's as I understood it, 5 years after the events of Star Trek Nemesis, and 15 years before Picard.
Mm-hmm. And you get to wear white booties.
Because I wasn't going to make that big a deal of it, because I know in Discovery when Pike came over to Discovery, they made a mention. I don't remember all the way, but they made a mention of the uniforms being different on the ship. So I know that they're different from ship to ship. So they kind of made a point of that. So it's just a little picky thing. So
no, it's not consistent. It drives me
it's
nuts.
A fair question in terms of when is this set, and even I like the fact that they had the old Deep Space Nine uniforms.
I like that. But I was trying to set it in my mind, where.
Mike, you want to join us?
Oh, it's Mike Nagan again. Oh, he'll defend the show and say how good it was.
I can email you the thing if you want, Mike. It's up to you. I'm sorry. I apologize, Mike. I'm on no sleep, and I'm just all right.
He's got to be. He's got to be broadcasting from an actual McDonald's, so he matches the set behind Mitch.
Exactly. America loves watching four angry white guys yell about a cartoon show designed for children. I did think I was watching some Nickelodeon show today when it's I'm trying to impress my girlfriend because she's jealous. She's going with her old boyfriend, so I'm going to wear this funky outfit and moonwalk. And I'm like, moonwalk? Who the hell is going to get that except for people our age? A Michael Jackson reference.
I thought that was history. Yeah, I thought that was a stupid storyline when he all the way through. But some of the parts were kind of humorous when he tries to lift her and he can't, in front of the other guy. There was an attempt at humor, but it just didn't pay off. I
don't get how he walks into a room and hits a hologram and it moves. I'm like, it's not there. It's just a little hologram thing, I thought. And everything got out of whack. And the guy's like, I'll fix that for you.
Oh, right. Stellar cartography.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's fine. That didn't bother me.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
You know what the problem is? I hate it so much I start picking apart every little thing to see why I hate it. I go, that's the reason why I hated it, because it did that. Because you start, if there's a person you don't like, say John, for instance, I start picking on his bathroom, and you start getting nuts about it. But then overall, you're like, look, it's not really the bathroom.
Dante says it felt like they ripped off an episode of How I Met Your Mother. That's not good too, because I hated that show too. I
never watched that.
Hated it. I hated that show. I loved Colby Smulders, but actually I liked a lot of the actors except
and
for
Allison Hannigan and Jason whatever his name is.
Yeah, I liked all of the actors except the lead guy.
Yeah.
Pointy face Ted.
And I hated the show. I really just hated
I never watched it. My kids liked it.
Yeah.
I thought this reminded me of 70s Three's Company. It really did, because the way he was falling down, it was like John Ritter would always trip and fall over the couch and stuff. And I was like, I never laughed at any of that either. I was like, that's stupid. Kapla.
He can't join us, so Kapla. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Could we just wind up yelling at him for 15 minutes?
I know.
What did he do?
Mike, I said this earlier about your comments from last week. Taking Nigan's comments into account, I watched some Teen Titans Go. That is a loud show, but the show is funny. Yeah,
yes, I agree with you, Wayne. It is a funny show.
And it's on Nickelodeon Kids or something, right?
It's on Comedy
it's
Central.
on Cartoon,
Oh, is it on Comedy Central?
Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of their big shows.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, I don't mind the loudness. I don't mind the stupid premises that go on.
If it's funny.
If it's funny. Teen
Teen
Titans
Go has
funny.
stuff. It has stuff going on everywhere. It's like watching Police Squad. There's like jokes and stuff happening left and right, and they're all funny.
But if you just watch it straight through and just follow the main plot of whatever episode, even the movies were funny. But again, he doesn't like to hear what I say, so he just blacks out. But the movies are funny. The episodes are funny. The writing is funny on that show.
Yeah,
and which is why it lasts for so long. And it just goes.
Also this show is so clearly Rick and Morty paced. There's nothing wrong with that. But again,
I think I'm going to disagree with you on that too, because Rick and Morty, again, is funny.
But I'm saying it's paced like Rick and Morty.
Yeah, but the pacing is part of what makes Rick and Morty funny, yeah.
But they also have good jokes in Rick and Morty.
Right.
This has the pace without the funny. And again, like you have these empty things of like, am I right? Oh yeah, you're right. Woo, okay.
Sorry about that.
See? Right.
Downtown. Oh yeah.
Even my computer hates this show so much it keeps shutting off.
Clearly.
I'm on my iPhone, so there.
Right, and Dante's correct, but Rick and Morty is
the magic's gone. Even the show's gone. Look at that.
What's the over-under on Mitch's angry cussing?
Oh, I got yelled at last week for swearing so much. So I'm trying not to do that.
For swearing?
My wife saw it. And she goes, you run a convention, and there's people that go, you shouldn't be dropping F-bombs. I go, you don't understand how bad this show is. It's like
I like that she admonished you, and then yet within the very first sentence on this show, you swore.
I try. I just won't show her this week's episode. I'll just fast forward.
Damn it, Jim.
Damn it, Jim.
I don't know, man.
It's a cartoon hat for you.
What's that?
What?
I even wore a new hat for you guys.
Yeah, I like it.
You got a Star Trek hat.
I'm like the kids. I didn't even take the label off, so I'm cool like that. So
yeah, would you do Sideways and do Vanilla Ice for us? Vanilla Trek.
What's that?
Put the hat on sideways, and you can be Vanilla Trek.
Oh, with my bad hairline, I should do this.
Flavor Trek or whatever.
It says Explorer or something.
He'd have a tricorder hanging. From
I could tell you a Kevin Smith
secret. Instead of the alarm clock. Flavor. What'd you
say it again? What now?
No, with your backwards baseball cap, I was going to tell you a Kevin Smith secret, but I'm not going.
I've heard that story.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at that! You're swearing, Mario, and you got this nice picture of your kid next to you. What's wrong with you?
Oh my God! He's swearing like that. What are you, deaf?
No,
he's deaf. So Rob Burnett had an interesting theory about Lower Decks. He thinks that
tax write-off.
No, that Mike McMahon. Jesus.
I'll drop out again.
Shut up! I'll take you on. How about that? Good Lord. The boy voted most likely to interrupt. Don't make me do what they can.
Mute me!
Exactly. So anyway, as I was saying, there you go. No, he said that he thinks Mike McMahon only sees Star Trek, and that's okay. Don't worry about your duck. He sees Star Trek really for its kitsch and parody, and doesn't think that he is genuinely into Star Trek. And I disagreed with him. I'm like, no. I'm like, he's writing real Star Trek stories.
I think he lost a bet. He had to take the job.
No, he wanted, again, cute.
Was there a lot of people?
Hey, are you auditioning now for the writing staff of Lower Decks?
I could do it.
Because that's about the level of those jokes right now.
I was thinking about that. I was like, if I knew somebody that can get into writing, because I don't have my union card, but what the hell? How bad could it be?
Well, yeah. Well,
maybe they should have a contest. You write Star Trek Lower Decks. The winner gets to do an episode.
Oh, that's nice, Hayden. I listened to John and Rob talk Star Trek for more hours than I've actually consumed Star Trek media.
And it's better.
We didn't. We talked for like an hour about Star Trek. Oh, the 4 hours that we talked.
When are they gonna do that Will Wheaton show? Are they gonna do that again? Because I want to watch his fake sincerity when he pretends he likes this.
It's so wonderful. I think it's so wonderful.
Isn't it great, John, that we have an opportunity to watch Star Trek on an animated show? It's great. Let's talk to the producer.
Oh, it is so like insincere in its sincerity. But
Will
also,
Wheaton.
they made
Phil.
one. They made one for Lower Decks, and I think they're
Yeah.
going to do one at the end of Lower Decks. So
That's
because I don't think they do
great.
it every week.
Let's all talk like Will Wheaton.
Talk about it. Now here's a segment where about oven for what is it? I was going to do like the pizza one, like in the Picard episode with Riker.
I
and
was
Troy.
on Star Trek.
Here we're going to do a segment about how you can make a pizza at home. It's like, are you kidding me? That's what you're wasting time on? Dumbass.
People hated me more than they did Lower Decks.
But you know, have you seen him do his spoken word performance about when he met William Shatner?
No.
It's great. It's very funny.
Why did Shatner know who he was?
I don't even want to spoil it. Seriously.
Oh, really? Is it on
look
YouTube?
Look up on YouTube. I mean, they did one where they put like music behind it. Don't look. I mean, just literally just look for him just giving the story, and it's a funny story, and it's cool, and it's yeah.
If there was a comedy television show that you enjoyed that this show could mimic, because obviously it doesn't know what it is, what type of show would it have to mimic to be funny? Would it be a Cheers? Would it be Friends?
Police
Squad. What, Barney Miller? I mean, there's got to be some MASH.
Well,
there's got to be some formula that this thing needs to follow.
Well, it's funny because honestly, when you said that, my head said Barney Miller. No, but then I'm like, well, actually, this is trying to be like Barney Miller, where they're dealing with real problems and trying to be funny. I think this show knows exactly what it's trying to be. It's just not, as Franco said earlier, it's just not executing it well.
No,
I think
it's setting new ground. It doesn't have something to compare it to, other than what's the Orville show. That's
of course,
the only other thing that it could be. Or
I know you don't like your Orville.
No. Oh, I like Orville.
I like Orville too.
Remember that Richard Benjamin show, Quark? Not the guy with the big ears. That only lasted 5 episodes?
I was going to say, I think it was a summer replacement show.
Outer Space Junk Dealer, if I recall.
Yeah, and it totally was it was 10 years after Star Trek, and it absolutely was like a Star Trek.
Did it suck? I can't. All I remember
it was funny.
The Audrey sisters were on it, but I was 10 years old.
Yeah. That's right. It wasn't the Landers. It wasn't the Landers sisters.
It wasn't?
Different. It was different hot blonde twins.
That's all I remember from that show. That, and I think they had a robot.
I'll text you later, and I'll look up who they were. But you know, and also they had a Spock character on Quark called Ficus because he was half human, half plant.
Ficus. Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah.
And he met another alien, and they were gonna have sex, and it's like, well, how do you have sex? He's like, we pollinate.
Yeah.
And they cut to them having this ridiculous scene.
And you're laughing talking about that from a fucking 40-year-old show.
Buck Henry made it. And Richard Benjamin. I mean,
so it's the writers that make it funny.
Of course, it's the writers.
So
really?
okay, no, stop. So besides this Mike Macklin or whoever you were talking about,
McMahon.
Whatever, who are these other writers? And I don't mean to be disrespectful. I just don't know what their credits are. Maybe they're on other shows that.
Well, in comparison,
I don't think are funny either. So
in comparison, talking to Patrick Schumacher and the way that Harley Quinn is made.
A good show, by the way.
Yes, and that's why I point this out. They have only the producers, and then they have writers that rotate. And okay, I can give you a couple weeks. Here's a few jokes, whatever. And they had literally 15 or 16 different writers rotating in and out. I don't know. I'll look up Lower Decks.
One of the things about Rick and Morty and Harley Quinn is that it has kind of like a linear path through the season, like a story arc. Now, you don't necessarily need to follow it all the way through. You can watch it individually by episode. But there's a path going there. This also, Lower Decks doesn't have a path going anywhere either that I've seen.
It did at first, though, because wasn't it like I told you, I thought they were struggling to get up to the command deck. I thought that was the whole thing. They were going to work their way up the ranks until they could be like the main bridge crew. I thought that was the idea.
But what happened today kind of negates what you're talking about, because those other two characters that wanted the T-88s or whatever, they were going to get transferred over, and they're like, no, we don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like they almost want to stay there. So
Well, no.
everything that we've theorized about them wanting to move up in the ladder is kind of like negated by that, I think.
Well, yeah, it already happened on the first episode when they put that guy on an away mission with the Klingon. I go, oh wait, he's allowed to do away missions? I thought he was a nobody. And then the girl Mariner got promoted a week or so ago to a commander or lieutenant,
Right.
and she threw away the commission. I'm like, what is the point of this show? Where are they going? There's no character development anywhere. Not that it
Exactly.
I mean,
Okay,
it's a
Because
cartoon.
that's what I was kind of hoping, is that they would do a bunch of that, and then like the episodes will kind of
There's
go
a
somewhere,
payoff.
and the humor would come from some of that stuff, but it's not even doing that.
I got a list of writers, and very interesting because Garrick Bernard is one of the writers on Lower Decks. He's a stand-up. He is known for Foxes, not the old Chrissy McNichol.
I was going to
movie.
say Jodie Foster movie.
Yeah, no, Jodie Foster. That's who it was. That's right.
Yeah.
No, he writes for Star Trek Lower Decks, and he ironically also writes for Solar Opposites, which is a funny cartoon that's sci-fi based.
That's on
that's
Hulu,
very
right?
interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I know I like it more than Francis does, but I like it.
Well, he's a
let's see who
stand-up
else.
I like
though.
it more than this show.
Yeah.
So, all right, John Cochran is another writer.
John Cocktoastone?
Yeah, and he is known for Lower Decks, The Millers, and
The
Kevin
Millers.
Can Wait. Those are the shows that he.
Oh,
Kevin Can Wait was that
Wasn't
horrible
that-
Kevin James show.
Kevin James show, yeah.
Kevin James, where they killed off his wife after the
Killed
first
off-
season, and then
to bring
Hey,
his
this
other
is-
wife from another
this
show.
is a comedy. This is fun.
Yeah.
Leah Remini, so yeah, what are you
Yeah,
gonna do?
yeah.
So basically, they're redoing King of Queens without the title.
Yeah.
Ben Joseph has actually written. He wrote DC Superhero Girls, several episodes of that. Me, Myself, and I. Never heard of it.
Oh well, that's aimed towards a younger audience. Okay, so now that's starting to make sense. I'm like, all right, so they brought him in to be the guy that's in touch with the youth audience. So that's
Probably,
that one.
yeah,
The stand-up comic guy was the guy with the one-liners. That checked that list. Okay, so I'm starting to see how they're setting up their team here.
I'm going to keep going here. Ann Akata, Acacia Kim. And truly, I'm not doing this to shame these people.
No, I'm not. They're probably like,
from.
who the hell are you guys? I'm like, I'm just curious about who's writing this thing.
She wrote for High School Musical. She was a story editor. She wrote for New Girl, which I thought was a funny show.
Oh, that was a funny show, yeah.
What else? That's
Well, I
those
mean,
are the-
Mitch, you can't even compare it like as what have these guys done as well? I mean, you write a
I'm
bunch
just-
of stuff, and some of it's good, and some of it's bad. And
Yeah, but
you know,
It's like SNL, like when they had
Yeah.
was it Conan O'Brien or no, The Simpsons. When Conan O'Brien was on The Simpsons, this is before he became famous.
Right.
You go back and watch those episodes; they're hysterical.
Yeah.
And you go, "Oh my god, the guy that was behind the monorail episode and all," and it turned out to be him. That's like creative genius, like on another level, and
Yeah.
it shows. Then you get episodes and seasons where it's not so funny, and you go, "Well, they're okay." So I think that has a lot to do with the overall show. If there's people behind the scenes that are fucking pure comedic genius, it's going to come out in every episode. So far, I don't see these people gelling, man.
yeah.
I understand.
But they worked on other successful shows. I'm not saying they suck. I'm just saying this might not be their forte. This show.
Okay, one guy, Ben. What's his name? Ben Rogers is another performer, but he wrote for Workaholics, that show. Now there's M. Willis. He only did 5 episodes. Oh, that's interesting. Another thing, and much like Harley Quinn, it looks like the people rotated in and out. This guy wrote for the She-Ra show, the newer She-Ra.
She-Ra, yeah.
Also wrote for Helix, Super Ninjas, Super Ninjas, which I remember my buddy Ben Blacker used to write for that show as well.
They should hire the crew from Teen Titans or whatever that show is.
Oh, he
to
wrote
go
an
work on
episode of
that.
The Exorcist, and he also wrote Axe Cop, the very funny parody.
Mm.
So that's interesting. No, honestly, I do think it's interesting to find out who these people were, what they wrote, because yeah, I mean, honestly, you look at in a great example, you got Persky and Denoff, who were writing on the Dick Van Dyke Show with Carl Reiner, and Gary Marshall wrote for that with Jerry Belson, and they later developed The Odd Couple and all the Happy Days and all those shows.
Yeah.
Or in all of Sid Caesar's writers. Good Lord, literally Neil Simon, Woody Allen, Joe Stein, who wrote Fiddler on the Roof, and Mike Webster, I think, who wrote I believe wrote Bye Bye Birdie.
Yeah.
I mean, Larry Gelbart, who developed MASH later and was a Bob Hope writer before he was with Sid Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
All these guys, and truly the Caesar writers. I mean, they're like the 27 Yankees, like literally the greatest like comedy writers ever. That collected Mel Brooks, of course, Carl Reiner himself.
Right.
But yeah, I always find it interesting watching sitcoms from the 60s and 70s and seeing what Caesar writers were working then. Neil Simon's brother Danny, very good television writer. So anyway, there you go.
Anyway, well,
as Wayne said, think of it as a recipe, and the ingredients are just right, just not for that recipe, not for the thing you're trying to make.
I will give it credit for not screaming at me this week. I didn't have my ears being blasted out because no one was. Oh my God!
Well, Brad had his moments of screaming, but I understand. That's good. I'm glad it didn't give you a headache. It didn't give me a headache either.
No. Usually by the first 5 minutes, I'm crying because I can't take it.
No, I just saw it, and I can't even remember what the premise is for next week.
Oh.
I was trying to remember it too. That's how I can't retain anything. I have to write a bunch of stuff down because I can't retain anything from
it's chewing gum, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that. What were they trying to tell us about the? Was that like a message where the alien was complaining about not to blow up the moon, and it turns out it was just him and his wife were the only people that lived on it.
Oh, he wasn't lying. They were the whole civilization.
Yeah,
and she started going off. Are you effing kidding me? And blah blah blah.
Yeah.
We're gonna blow up that effing moon right now. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
No compassion there, Captain.
But it's also not
good.
But it's also not worthy of an officer, like to be. Imagine Picard going through an episode like that,
Yeah.
And I understand that this is supposed to be a comedy and everything like that, but again, they're taking the cheap way out with some of the humor, and it's not even working there.
No.
It was kind of funny when she's like, "Well, I'll blow up that moon number 4, and now it'll be number 5 or whatever she said." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's kind of funny." Technically, it'll be the 5th moon now after I blow it up. So.
That's like Wrath of Khan.
I was thinking that SETI Alpha 5.
This
Yeah, this is SETI Alpha 5.
I like in Enterprise they went back to the SETI Alpha planets. The episode where Archer loses his ability to retain short-term memory or whatever.
Oh, they did?
And he can't be. Oh, it's a great episode. And it's set like a few years in the future. And T'Pol, like he can't be captain anymore, so they settle on this planet, and T'Pol is like his keeper because she feels responsible because he went in to do something that she should have done, and so she felt responsible, so she stayed by him, and it's really great. It's a really cool episode.
Were those little worm things in it?
No, the planet that they were on.
Yeah.
Was like I believe SETI Alpha 5 or 6. I'm not sure. So,
did you
Alpha 6?
What was that little bug? What was that little bug thing screaming? I swear to God, it was saying some dialogue.
Lover. Barbara, it's me.
I thought, but it was saying. I'm like, I think I heard that. I don't know what the little phrase was when it was in the jar. I'm like,
I'm pretty sure. I think I watched it pretty close during that scene, and I'm pretty sure he was saying, "Call my agent, get me off this show."
It was saying some kind of weird word, and I'm like, "Wait, is that something?" I don't know. Maybe I was just hearing things, but yeah, that was so Mariner.
That was that.
Bomber sucks. He can't get a hot girl because it turned out to be an alien thing living in his head that was causing pheromones.
That's why I like 3. The third episode so much because Balmer actually was competent. Right?
Yeah.
Like all those aliens around the ship with the spear, and he's like, "Wait a minute, I got a phaser! Ding, ding, ding!"
Yeah.
And it's like, absolutely, you're a Starfleet officer.
There's no thread. Like I said, there's no thread with the characters throughout any of the shows. I mean, we find out a little bit about them here and there. Like Balmer's got a blocky penis. Now we know that, but I mean that doesn't satisfy me in terms of
Must really
Star
hurt when he
Trek.
pees if it's that blocky. I don't know. Wayne says Enterprise had a lot of potential, but season 3 was just too long.
Yeah.
And derailed the momentum of the show. I honestly think Enterprise, it really didn't fight itself until that last season. And man, it's so funny. Inglorious Trexperts, I can't recommend it enough. It's a great podcast. And they had Manny Cotto on. And
Who's that?
Manny Cotto was the showrunner for 24, but he was the showrunner of the last season of Enterprise.
Oh, okay.
And they talked about how the end of season 3 finished the temporal, or was going to finish the temporal war, but the cliffhanger was they were back in World War II era, and aliens had infiltrated the Nazis and stuff. And Manny Cotto's like, yeah, basically F you to Rick Berman and Brandon Braga for sticking that on him. And he's like, believe me, we wanted to wrap that up right away. Their vision was to spend the entire season in the 40s and wrap things up. And it's like, no, that would have really been horrible and stupid. Enterprise, to finish my thought real fast, is it was at that point retreading the same tropes of Next Generation and Voyager, where it's like, hey, look, the ship got invaded, or oh, we're at a weird planet.
Yeah,
and it's just it was, they were out of ideas, and it should have been what it was in the 4th season of, no, make it a real prequel. And I love the mini movies, those multi-part story arcs that they had, where 2 or 3 episodes would be a story, and it was fascinating because no, these are the building blocks of the Federation. How did we get there? And they only did it in that last season because at that point they gave up.
I was trying to figure out what story they were referencing on Lower Decks when the guy said, "Oh, we had to go back to the 1920s and stop the guy who's going to be worse than Hitler." I was like, "Who was that supposed to be?"
Well, I think the worse than Hitler was just a throwaway.
Yeah.
Oh, they just threw that. I was like, "Wait, was that an episode?" I was like, "What is this?"
But the 1920s, that was a piece of the action.
No, I thought it was something to do with City on the Edge of Forever when they had to stop Edith Keeler from.
That's the 30s. That's the 30s.
Yeah, you obviously don't know your decades.
Yeah,
I don't know my Star Trek.
It was, it was not a piece of the action.
No, I didn't say you don't know Star Trek. I said you don't know your decades.
Lower Decades. That could be another show.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
And that's so funny. They'll probably use that as a joke on that show.
Yeah, easy. Don't steal it. Don't steal it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about that, Mitch.
No, I want to know more about the production of the show. You know how Burnett used to do the Cinema Fantastic with Altman, and they used to write all the background stuff. I swear, as much as I hate this show, I'm actually curious to see what the hell the genesis is behind it, what they were going for, all of it, because it's like, they're spending money. They actually got people just working on it, and they got some Trek references there, because somewhere in this mystery, you're going to find out what went off the rails here.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Why is this not perfect? Not that it should be perfect. I remember when the Clone Wars started, the Lucasfilm Star Wars cartoon. It was clunky looking with the animation, but they were going somewhere. But over years, it became a very good show, and it worked on it, and they had very talented people on it that now moved on to the Mandalorian show, which is great. But I can't see any of these guys on the Star Trek cartoon moving on to one of the live action shows and bringing anything with it that I'd want to watch.
That's another 10 episodes we can do, because the Mandalorian. So that's another Star Trek show.
Now that I can't wait. That's October 30th. That actually, I was like, oh my God.
It comes back on October 30th, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, that's something I want to watch.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. All right, get a new lobby card and we'll make it.
I was going to say
Star Watch. Anything with Star.
There's a pay-per-view show. What I watch and I go, wait a minute, I already am. I pay for Paramount for this thing. CBS Online or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to watch them.
Is this the only new show that's on there right now? Is this one of the things they're using to attract subscribers? Hey, watch Lower Decks. It's worth your $6 a month.
They might have another scripted show. I'm not, and I think Good Fight is between seasons. Twilight Zone season 2 happened before Lower Decks. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
This could be on Quibi. Is that what it's called, Quibi?
Yeah, no, it can't be on Quibi. It's too long. Quibi's
it's got to be short. Oh, God forbid they make this show shorter. Yeah.
Which is why I always say about Quibi, it's like, congratulations, you just invented YouTube 2009.
Somebody just announced they're doing a comic book documentary based on the book Slugfest, which was about Marvel versus DC fans. And they go, it's going to be a miniseries, but it's on Quibi. I'm like, what? So you're going to get 10-minute installments every day for 2 weeks? Oh, okay.
How's
that thing doing?
Not good. Not good.
I didn't think so. I was like, does anybody know this is on there?
I mean, part of it was bad luck on their part, but they literally designed it to be only on tablets and phones, not on they didn't make it so you can get it on a big screen streaming thing. So and then the pandemic hit, and it's like, well, nobody's computing, man. And no, everyone's sitting at home watching their big screens. They're not sitting at home watching their iPhones.
Oh, wow.
So they really screwed. And plus, again, hey, this is really cool. And it's like, no, it's not. It happened 11 years ago, and technology got better. So, cute idea, but no, you kind of fucked up. And
You know what would
I mean,
be
it's still
fun?
there, but God only knows how long it's going to survive. It's
You know
just
what
shit
would be
money.
You know what would be funny on Lower Decks? There is like premises in Star Trek that would actually be very funny. Like, remember those space hippies from the original one where they had to go? The guy bit the fruit and
And
it was
now
acid and
to
he died.
Eden, yeah,
Yeah.
brother.
Hey,
Yeah,
jump for joy! I just got a good bill of health from Dr. McCoy, that Charles Napier guy.
yeah,
Wouldn't it
I
be
love that.
funny if they showed like those guys becoming old conservative yuppie and stuff? They just went back and revisited that stuff. There is gems of humor in the Star Trek timeline throughout all these shows
Sure.
that if you revisited, like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if whatever his name is, what was the guy's name again? His first name? We learned Brathamore, whatever.
Bradward.
Encountered, Spock's brother or something, reincarnated.
I'm waiting for Cybok
or something.
After they created Burnham, I'm like, you want to impress me?
Yeah,
Let's see Spock
in.
with both of his siblings.
Mhm.
Let me see young Cybok as well.
Or
And I'm
like
shocked
people,
that they haven't done that.
or like there's a triple shortage. You know what I mean? Like they're suddenly neutered and they can't reproduce anymore,
Well, you
and
saw
people
the
are
lower,
protesting.
You saw the
you
lower
know?
decks with the triple one, didn't you?
I've
Or
seen
not
all these lower decks,
short,
but
short treks. I mean, short treks.
oh, the animated thing.
With, no.
No.
Short treks. There was one animated.
Yeah,
episode
that
of
was
Short
bad.
Treks, or two of them. There were two, but no,
Yeah.
I'm talking about
I don't
the
remember.
episode with H. Sean Benjamin, the guy from Archer, and he's the scientist that like genetically mutates the tribbles.
Oh no, maybe I missed it.
It's horrible. Is
it really?
It's seriously.
Should I run right out and watch it after the
It's
show
the worst.
tonight?
It's the worst.
You'd love
thing.
Is it
the
worse than
worst.
the elevator one?
Yes. Because
Is it worse than that little microbe animated one with that thing where they showed the wrong Enterprise blow up?
Yes.
Yeah, that bugged me.
Seriously, as Dante says, that short trek was kind of creepy. Yeah, and I'll leave it at that. But seriously, and it's only like 9 or 11 minutes long, so
And it's that bad, huh?
Oh my god, it's just honestly, and it even worse than like what kind of fuck ups are in this version of Starfleet that CBS is putting. H.M. Benjamin is the worst example of a fuck up, and it's like I'm sorry, a verisimilitude, as Burnett always says, and he's right. You got to believe this shit, especially the live action stuff. And it's,
did you see?
There's no way in hell this guy would have made it through.
They dropped a Q reference.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, it's like a hopped up Q on Picard Day or something." I'm like, "Oh, so everybody knows about Q, huh?"
Okay. And Captain Picard Day, which I thought was just like.
Well, I thought that was just an Enterprise thing.
Right. Well, and it was so funny. Vulture had a review of the episode, and they didn't love it, but they didn't hate it either. And they said, "Oh, it was kind of cool to see the Captain Picard days like celebrated all through Starfleet." It's like, no, that doesn't make sense.
For now, and then he causes the alien.
Exactly.
Also, when they
it's going to be reverse MLK.
The droid rebellion. Yeah.
When they first announced this Lower Deck show, I thought the premise was going to be funny in terms of making it part of one of the other shows. So it's going to take place during Next Generation. So what episode of Next Generation has occurred, and this is all the behind the scenes, the Lower Deck stuff. That could be, or could have been, some funny situations, and like when the Borg take over, and then like these guys are below decks and stuff like that, and like it'd be funny. You see, if I was running the show, I would have like a character die every week, like one of the main ones, just bring them up for 2 or 3 episodes and then kill them off. I think that'd be funny.
They dropped a Borg reference tonight too, I think, didn't they? I could have sworn. Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. There's a lot of funny stuff that they could be doing. Like, the Borg is maybe there's a planet where the people are just so backwards that Borg didn't want them, and they have to go there. You know what I mean? It's like, wouldn't that be funny? Like, how screwed up are you? Go. Yeah, those guys, exactly. Like, they're so screwed up, the Borg don't even want them. I don't know. If you're gonna appeal to Star Trek,
that would be funny.
Yeah, it broke. You fixed that guy when they got Geordi.
When they steal Geordi, exactly.
There could be a whole episode on the off-fall lights. I mean, that could be a whole, whole episode about how many lights there actually are.
I thought when she kept saying parasite detected, and that crazy captain was yelling at the other 2 crew members. I go, maybe it's that guy that's been infected.
Yeah.
That's why he's not acting like a Starfleet officer, because
that.
he's got those little worm things that I thought were from season 1. Remember Next Generation, the worm thing, like, we are here to whatever, and then he explodes and that bug thing came out. After Prime Directive, they just blasted that thing into pieces that day. And I'm like, maybe it's finally a sequel to that episode, because they never ended it. It's like it sent a homing signal out into space.
That would have been cool if Brad's parasite was in his mouth, because that's how those things.
Yeah,
You're right. It had the little mealworm tail in the back of the neck.
Right.
But
Yeah,
we see
peaceful coexistence.
That episode, and then the one where Riker can't sleep.
Yeah,
and
you said that.
Realizes that they're being sucked out into the other dimension and stuff.
Yeah, or Worf's son shows up. You remember his son?
Let me finish my point. Thank you.
You already made your point last week about the aliens being operated
Shut up.
on.
Shut up.
That's it.
Goodbye. Anyway, my point is they let go of both those 2 storylines they never went back to, and I think that would have been interesting. Please, Mitch, continue.
Well, John, since you make me watch this. Oh, anyway.
Exactly. What are you, Megan, without a headset?
No, I have my little things on.
I'm teasing.
Whatever.
I'm teasing. Whatever. Before I got Megan a headset, I got to check with Hillary Barta, make sure he got his headset. That's all I'm doing. I'm buying all you assholes headsets.
I had to wear my Poe Dameron headset for my kids.
I like those. Are those actually Poe Dameron?
Yeah, they are. It came out with
That's awesome.
another shitty science fiction franchise kind of. Let's do a Star Wars how they screwed the trilogy thing. All I wanted was one scene with Han, Luke, and Leia. That's it. One scene, and he would have had all my money. That's it. That's all I wanted.
Forgive the Star Wars tangent, but I'm glad you opened that up, because I was on someone else's podcast on Tuesday.
You cheated on us?
Yeah, I did. And honestly, I'm like, maybe they screwed up and should have just focused on the new characters and not had any recognizable characters from the original 3, because of the way they used them. It's like, and we would have focused more on the new characters and not had that expectation of, oh man, it would have been great, they again the unfulfilled feelings we have from the sequels.
Well, that's why I want them to do another trilogy with brand new characters. I would love that.
And they could have called it Star Wars Lower Decks. Yeah.
Well, but think of the 20 years of
Star Wars Outer Rim.
No, I agree with you. They wasted all those other actors there. I mean, we'll bring the old people in because that'll bring the fans in. Yeah, but you didn't use them. So why waste? You wasted everyone's time and effort. You killed poor Carrie Fisher by making her lose weight, man.
You had to kill all of them.
When we are all in retirement homes yelling at each other, I look forward to what that generation, when they look back at the sequels, how they're judged.
Why did you put Jar Jar Binks in it?
We're going to be doing one of these shows where we're all going to be holograms in front of each other, yelling in the same room.
We're going to think we've been doing a show, but we're all going to just be in some old people's home, in the same room. All right. Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Why is Johnny on my lawn? What? Get him off the.
What is he yelling about this time? Something about it's not funny.
Can we get 3 attendants in here, please? The 3 old men are yelling at each other again.
Rich is still talking about Indiana Jones, for crying out loud.
You don't have a microphone to mute, Mr. Suntress, on Mr. Halleck. I don't understand what you're saying. Mute him!
Got a green screen behind him. We don't know why. Makes him happy.
Is this Let's Make a Deal? Should we guess what's behind the curtain, Carol Merrill?
Well, Carol Merrill. I have an old showgirl tied behind my wall here. Hello. It puts the lotion on itself.
All right, are we done? We're at it.
We finished a long time ago.
Yeah, we.
So again, I'd give it a 5 out of 10.
I'm really hoping next week's episode is the best one ever.
Me too.
I can't wait for Mandalorian to come back.
Thank you, Baby Yoda.
Oh, next week's the best. Every week I hope this is the one that's going to make me like this show.
Well, again, talking to Burnett last night, I'm like, I got to say I liked 3. So that was only, an episode ago as we were talking, because the 5th one hadn't come out yet.
So 1 out of 5 you like?
1 out of 5 so far I liked. Yeah.
So that's a 20.
For me, it's been on a steady decline. It's been on a steady decline since episode 1. It's been on a steady decline.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse.
They got 5 more, and it's interesting because those, like I said, some of those writers were only credited for 5 episodes. So I wonder if it was Team A, Team B, or a mix. I don't really know, but it is going to be interesting to see how this second half of the season.
Yeah, if we're
goes,
doing a
and if we like it
diagram,
better.
these have gone down. I'm hoping that the other ones will go up, so we
Sure.
make a V formation.
Sure, I like it.
Well, this is a midterm report card, so you're a teacher. What would you send a note home with this episode to the parents and saying, "Yeah, they really got to worry about
Must show work needs improvement."
Yeah, Mike,
Yeah.
Mike needs to work a little harder in class. Exactly.
It's annoying the other students. They're yelling at each other.
And Mitch talks too much.
Well, there you go.
Disruptive.
Thanks a lot for watching today, and we'll see if it's better next time. Later tonight, if you're watching live, Word Balloon Live, we'll have another episode. That's right. To the Outer Limits is Gabe Hardman and I look at the first season of the Outer Limits tonight. The Sixth Finger, which is the Sixth Finger. It's there you go. David McCallum. Remember that episode? Great episode. Where he becomes 5,000 years evolved. So.
Oh yeah. Does he get like a big head?
Yes.
Yes, I remember that one.
It's a fantastic episode if you don't remember it.
Is Demon with the Glass Hand season 1?
No, you know what's weird? It was because really season 1, Joe Stefano and Leslie Stevens, the guys who created Outer Limits, they left. And the network only gave it a second, like half of a second season.
I did not know that.
In that second season, you get both of the Harlan Ellison episodes, Demon with the Glass Hand and Soldier. And those are classic episodes. But
what's Soldier? Who's in Soldier?
Michael and Sarah.
Oh, really? I don't think I saw that one.
Kang.
Or Mr. Freeze from the Batman anime.
That's right.
Barbara Eden's husband for a while.
That's all of that is absolutely correct.
He was King Kamehameha.
Indeed. So thanks a lot for watching. Take care. Be well. Live long and prosper. And keep reaching, as Casey Kasem would say,
keep your feet on the ground
and keep reaching for the stars. Bye-bye, everybody.
Peace.